I tried everything on my own to get out of a bad situation. Because I'm Irish Catholic and my grandma always told me for sure that I was going to hell. So I didn't grow up with a forgiving God. Therefore, I put him on the back burner for a while. I continued in active addiction for at least 24 years. 43 now. And when I tell you that I've tried everything, I'm one of those that joined the service, had some children, left, moved, and what happened was that everywhere I went, I brought me. And I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready yet. My last greatest plan, because my story is so long, I'll fast forward a lot. My last greatest plan was to leave New York and come down to Florida and get clean. And of course, I've always had good intentions. I just couldn't follow through with them. And when I got here, I continued with my bad behavior, and I really didn't know anything else at that time, and I became homeless. And the state of Florida had already taken my children, and I was able to somehow, manipulate the system and get them back. But after being evicted many times, we were actually really living in our car at that point. And I was introduced to a shelter system through Jubilee. And I really believe that I got to Jubilee the day before I died. That's how badly my life was. I wasn't even eligible for detox at any point because I had to be detoxed in a trauma unit every time I drank. I really was drinking to kill myself. And so I believe that I got to Jubilee the day before I died. And let's see. The Jubilee Center helped me get into a shelter, and I was able to keep my children there. And I was introduced to a 12-step fellowship, which was at Jubilee. And I saw that they had something I wanted. I was kind of in my element. I had been to 12 steps before, but like most people, I don't know if any of you have been to a 12-step program, but the people that don't make it will say, well, I tried that and it didn't work for me. And I had tried that in 1984 and it didn't work for me. This time, I guess I was really ready, and I saw that some of the people there, they had what I wanted. They were getting clean, they were getting jobs, they were dressing nicer, taking care of their health, and I continued to show up. Unfortunately, I didn't stay sober right away. I had to go to work first and kind of put my recovery on the back burner. But as all good recovering addicts, I bounced back rather quickly. I am fairly intelligent. And what would happen was most of the time I put my life together really quickly and forget how it happened. Or actually, I didn't even know there was a God in my life making these things happen. And I would take my will back and think that I could do this by myself. I was constantly trying to do it by myself, on my own, without faith. And let's see, Jubilee gave me a lot of support. They helped me get my daughter into a daycare. I have two. Well, now my daughter's 3 and my other one's 12. This was at least in 2007. So they got my little one into daycare. They got my 12-year-old into school and provided transportation, and I was able to look for work. They provided me with clothing, daily food, toiletries. I mean, simple things that were, we didn't even hadn't taken a shower, living in my car. So those were luxuries to us at the time. And when I started going to these meetings, the 12 o'clock meeting happens to meet here at St. James, and I didn't have a job. So I got involved in coming to the 12 o'clock meeting every day, and I started to do some service. I started taking suggestions, which I had never done before. And I would come early and set up the chairs. And apparently, when the student is ready, a teacher will appear. And I was just so blessed to meet Father Addison one day, because I came too early. And he was like, "You're early," you know? And I was like, "Well, is it okay?" And he said, "Yeah, just be quiet. We have nursery school going on in the back." And that was the day we started a friendship. You know, actually, people weren't forcing God down my throat yet. I didn't, you know, I was using the group, I was using Jubilee, I was using other things as a higher power, and I was really white-knuckling it. You know, to stay without a drink for a day was really hard for me in the beginning. And, you know, Jubilee, when I left, Jubilee continued to give me services, and they continued to give me diapers and food and daycare, and I was able to get an apartment. I still have the same apartment today. I'm really proud to tell you that on June 15th of this year, I'll have 1 year sober.